Welcome to Auntie Chats and Tarot. Welcome in, Virgos. Here we go. Messages for our Virgos. I'm getting Native American energy, the white buffalo, sacred, magical, wonderful energy here already. Let's see. What's the message here for our Virgos? Huge, real big ancestor energy here, like big dogs in your family. Okay. The High Priestess, sideways. And I wonder if you need this reminder because you're second guessing yourself, or, you've got really good instincts, but it feels like, are you being secretive about them, or you're not convinced of them or something? Yeah, this energy is going to bulldoze you over. It's chariots on the floor. Or a reminder is meant to bulldoze you over. Page of Wands is out here too. Yeah, remember what is, and speak it out, I'm hearing. Remember what is, what ignites you, what excites you, what is your passion in life. Take a deeper dive on that, look at that a little closer, then speak that out and make it happen. What else do we have here for Virgos? Yeah, look for the messages in the birds. Messages in birds. You've got the Two of Pentacles here, upside down. Clarity, gain clarity on what it is you want to do. Because I feel like whatever you come up with is what you will achieve. There is no limit here. Ten of Swords. And if you feel like there's a limit, then trace that back to it's something that you're believing there's a limit. Others, maybe you feel like they've stabbed you in the back when you've tried to go after these big dreams, big wishes, big goals. Your, what really ignites you. Spirit's saying, what I see so far in the cards is you don't need these people's opinions or validation here. You can do this all on your own. Your big money, I hear, and your big ancestry. Your ancestors are pulling for you, and you have that same DNA. You're big, 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 big dog. Okay, the Hierophant. Yeah. Get in tune with your spiritual team here, with the divine, what you consider a higher source. Lean into that. Use that energy as a mentor. You will be a mentor. You will conquer this that you want to do, and you will be a mentor for others. Huge mentorship here. Or if you've had a mentor, I feel like a lot of you, if you have, it's a family member. They may not be here in the earthly plane. They may have crossed over, but they are still with you. Know that. They've been a big influence in your life. They've been a big influence in a lot of people's lives. The Moon. But you're believing somebody who's playing it big, and they're not big. This is a reminder from Spirit. Remember the genuine, authentic, big that comes from your family, and don't accept anything less. Somebody's trying to be tricky here, or playing some games with you. There's trickery energy. Ace of Wands in reverse. That's hoping you give up on these big dreams of yours. And it's something to do with controlling you. Okay? They want you to do what they want you to do. But you have other ideas. And Spirit's saying, yeah, run with those ideas you have and know that nothing stops you. Okay? You might be getting a lot of texts from them. They kind of like to micromanage you type energy. Okay? The Hermit in the reverse. Come out of, kind of mulling this over. How much should you give them as far as your time and attention? I think be polite to them, but you're the leader. You're the captain. You're the magic. You're the white buffalo energy, okay? And so is your lineage. So there shouldn't be anything holding you back from what it is you want to achieve. King of Swords. King of Pentacles in the reverse. And I feel like what nags at you here is that you've seen another side of this person when they don't get their way. And so you're worried about explosive types of interactions. That is also control. If they feel like they don't get their way and they get explosive, and that somehow quiets you down as far as what you want to be heading towards or doing, then that's worked before. That's worked on other people for them. Too bad if they don't get their way. I hear that very clearly in the energy surrounding us right now. Too bad if they don't get their way. This is about you and what you want out of your life. On the floor, we have the sun, because it's about your happiness. Yeah, don't let them block that happiness. See how there's some sort of imagery here on the one eye. And you're maybe being too kind to this energy. And I feel like Spirit is not saying, it's definitely not an energy of dipping to that level. Stay high vibing here. Stay kind to them, but don't make it important anymore. Don't make them, their opinions, their manipulations important in your life anymore. You can still be polite, but don't let them run the show. What else do we have here? You're the white buffalo. You're the main attraction. You run the show. You run your show. 5 of Cups, and I feel like somebody who's passed on, who is an ancestor of yours, would have said the same thing or used that terminology. You run your show. 5 of Cups, yeah. They could be also saying, you can't do it without me. There's so many things, little details that I handle. Yeah, you can. Yes, you can. And I also feel like they overinflate what they do anyway. Keeping that in mind, let's keep moving forward. Yeah, the world, exactly what we're talking about. Closing out old cycles. You can do that in polite and still keeping good contact with people or good vibes with people, but closing out cycles and beginning new ones. There's a lot of travel here involved. Use your good intellect with where it is you want to go. Yeah. You have a nice style to you as well. That's just a natural style you have that people adore, or they like to see in you. Okay, injustice here with a justice in the reverse. What's that all about? It's all about the injustice here. Somebody's trying to change your style. Go back to what's naturally yours. Could be this person. Again, they're very manipulative. They have their hands in a lot of pots and pans. What do I want to say? They have their fingers in a lot of pots. Is that the term? They're just trying to always keep control because they don't feel like they're very in control, and they shouldn't be, according to Spirit here. In the cards, the energy I'm seeing, temperance. Yeah, what's off balance is some sort of injustice here. I think it is the way they treat you. I think it is the way they act like, you're lucky to have them. Rethink all of this. You're too sharp. I'm hearing again, use the crown chakra. You're very sharp. You come from a long line of bad beep asses. Okay, I'll just bleep myself before I say it. But I'll say it anyway because the energy is that. You don't need anybody other than self-belief here. Make it happen. I mean, in as you make things happen, you'll need collaborations with others, but you don't need anybody else to get things started, keep them moving, make them successful. It's you. It's you that's the magic. It's you that's the happiness here. Don't let your happiness be blocked. 10 of Wands. Don't allow the injustices, the imbalance here be a burden to you. It's not meant to even be in your realm. I just feel like this is not even supposed to be something you have to handle. It shouldn't even be in your orbit. 6 of Wands, yeah, absolutely, that's what I see. Nothing but victory here for you, the Fool. You should be leaping at everything you're interested in. It is your nature, and everything comes up roses for you. It does, because you have great karma, and you've got really fascinating and extraordinary an ancestral line that's just extraordinary, meant for these type of victories. 6 of Swords. Transformation, big transformation from somebody who wants in on it all the time. Yeah, no, you're meant to celebrate you, your ancestors, and whoever it is that's important to you, to continue this line, in a romantic way, continue the lineage. And it's not this person. This person's just grasping on for whatever they can and then making themselves out to be some sort of big dog, but they're not. In fact, when confronted, they're very much small dog energy, like Chihuahua and whiny type. Page of Cups in the reverse, and really probably owe you quite a few apologies over the years that you haven't seen. The truth is they admire you a great deal, but there's also a lot of jealousy there. Okay, you're meant to transform out of this energy altogether and not bring anything else like that back in. If this is an agent or something, or let's say a boss, a supervisor, no, you go a lot of this alone. A lot of sensual energy draws people in. Just be aware of that. That can have, positive and negatives to it. And I just say that because I know you're smart enough to figure that out. The Seven of Wands in the reverse, be conscious of, because of the sensuality that you exude, it's just natural. And I feel like, again, ancestors also did the same, exuded the same sort of energy. There can be a lot of jealousy there, or there can be a lot of this wanting to control it, wanting to control you, therefore. And but as a whole, just a misunderstanding of this, or people could feel like you're really something that you're not. So just be aware of misunderstandings that could happen here, or people who just want to make a quick judgment on you. And I feel like Spirit is saying, just be aware of it, and then you let it go. That's on them. That's their issue with whatever is deeply rooted within them that they can't handle. Okay. Again, their issue, but just be aware of it. Queen of Pentacles. Yeah. Stay grounded. Stay grounded here, and know the small group of people that you want to nurture and you want to focus in on. And that is a small group of people. And I feel like small group of people you consider friends. You have a lot of friends, you're very good with people, but there's a small group that you really rely on, count on, that are consistent. And also small group, and that's family. Page of Pentacles in the reverse, because you're going to have a lot of people. I feel like you're famous, or you're doing something where you're bringing in lots of attention, activity, money. And so that requires, other people to meet you, maybe not on your level, but the effort has to be, Spirit's saying here, similar. It's not you give more because you have more. It's you feel like your relationships are very balanced in that there's a good give and take, and that doesn't have to be monetarily. But where you're satisfied, not where people are taking. Oh, you have so much, so give to me. No, it's more of it's not a matter of who has what, but do you feel emotionally satisfied with how this person is interacting with you and the importance they place on the relationship? That type of exchange needs to be even. 9 of Pentacles. You're going to be out on your own a lot. You have been, okay? You can do it again, I hear. It's where you're meant to be. And then you determine, because you have done very well, you determine, because there is excess, where the excess goes in the area of love, in the area of your energy, in the area of activities, in the area of charity, in the area of monetary. There is some left over, but you determine where that goes, Spirit says here in the cards. Yeah, you're the big dog. You're the big dog emperor. Yeah. There's really no more to say other than this is a reminder to you that you run the show. You're the white buffalo, okay? Nobody else runs it for you. No. Unacceptable that anybody else runs this. Here we go with a charm. Just a reminder. I feel like it's just a reminder. Masks. This is the mask. People are wearing masks around you. And your intuition, we started out with that, coming out sideways. You know who they are, so don't talk yourself out of that information. You know who they are. Be aware of it, And I feel like keep good relations, but don't give them the power that they have now. It's time for you to take back your power, for sure. Okay, let's grab, let's see, an oracle. And I feel like some of them are just plain headache to deal with. A headache, because I'm getting a headache. Thank them for the time that you guys have had together. Let them know there's a reorg happening and, wish them well. Come together, and come together with those who, like I was saying, meet you at your level as far as what they are giving. And it doesn't mean monetarily, because I do see you have more than most, but it's what they give from their heart, from their authenticity. Take a big look at this, Virgo. Get a bird's eye view of who's in your life and what needs to be closed out and what needs to begin that really ignites you. You're the big dog, coming from a long line of big dog emperors. That's your message, Virgo. I love this message. I love this for you. Yeah, and also just a side note I'm hearing, don't let any kind of love connections get you down. If they're not working out, they're not meant for you, and you will see in time. And I feel like it's a short amount of time where you look back on these relationships and say, yeah, I see why that didn't work. So don't get down and don't be angry or put your anger for that towards a situation that's good or other people who have done you good turns, just be careful with that anger. See this situation more real, the reality of it. And in time that will, the whole sadness turned anger will subside. And clarity will help you with that. Wizard of awareness. Yeah, be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of this relationship. There's one in particular you're very sad about that you will look back in a short amount of time and say, why was I so invested in that? Yeah. The cycles of life. The wizard who's very aware, very sharp. Yeah. Your whole lineage. So many just extraordinary people in your lineage who are very wise. And you are also one of them. Don't doubt that. We started with that. If there's some sort of doubt, this is also a confirmation of do not doubt your instincts. And do not doubt how just extraordinary you are. That is your message. Please do like, share, subscribe, comment. It really helps the channel to grow. Until next time, let's remember who we are and let's remember our self-worth. If you feel inclined, please do utilize the link below for Buy Me Coffee. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you again. See you next time.